Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Megan Whitaker from the Nebraska golf team. If you put your clubs away for the winter, it's time to get them back out. There's no need to stop thanks to Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle is home to Lincoln's best indoor golf simulators. It's perfect for every level of golfer, with everything from casual games for the kids to hyper-realistic simulations of some of the best courses in the world. And the best part, no matter what the weather's doing outside, it's always weather inside. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is the Teammates Mentoring Hour, coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studio and online at theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into the Teammates Mentoring Hour right here on Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 Ticket, ticketfm.com. Today we're joined by Stacy and Van. Stacy is a match coordinator, I believe, specialist at that. And then Dan, he's been involved with Teammates for a while now. Has had a mentee who I believe just graduated, correct?
Yes, last year.
Yep, just last year. And then Stacy, you have a current mentee as well, right? Or is he also just graduated?
Well, I have a former mentee who graduated last year.
Okay.
And I have a new mentee that he started with this year. So
Absolutely. So like she said, we're going to have 4 stories ahead. We're going to be talking about hopefully some fun stories that happen along the way and maybe how you can get involved. Because this will be the last show for a while here before these guys get back. So again, if you guys want to join the conversation, Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. So Dan, I'll kind of go ahead and start with you. And I'm just kind of curious, you just had a mentee graduate. When did you originally get started with Teammates? And then, what was kind of that force that really made you decision that this is something I want to be a part of?
Okay. Yeah, like you said, my mentee graduated last spring.
Mm-hmm.
And I started with him. His name was Christopher. And when he was in 7th grade. So it was a good, a 6-year run? Yeah. From a 7th grader through graduating senior. I signed up in the fall of when he was in 7th grade. And I remember I heard the Teammates, and it was kind of in the back of my mind, like I should take a closer look at that sometime, just a way of giving back to the community and getting involved and making a difference in someone's life. And the church, Lincoln Berean, had a special banquet for, it was like 55 and older people, that might be looking ahead to retirement, maybe time starting to free up, or starting to think about ways to get involved in the community. And Tom Osborne was the guest speaker that evening. And Mark Larson, the principal at Lincoln High, was also a speaker. And of course, Tom, outlined the program, and Mark kind of emphasized what the needs are at Lincoln High. And they had it set up where there was an opportunity to sign up, and Teammates would get back to us. And so I thought, well, no better time than now.
Yeah.
And so I signed up and got the ball rolling. And short order, they called me up and said, let's start some training, do a background check, and we'll get you connected with a mentee.
That's awesome, especially at the Tom Osborne sales pitch going for you as well. I hear a lot of those stories, and I'm always a little jealous of those guys. I'm like, man, that'd be cool. And just again, it's credit to what this thing has become, because you got to remember, it used to be a lot smaller of a thing with just those student athletes, and what's become now, it's absolutely incredible. So kind of switching to you, Stacy, you're a match support specialist. You also have a mentee, and we'll dive into that later. But what does that role, being a match support specialist, mean for you? Like, what does that all entail for Teammates?
As a match support specialist, I do everything to support matches. So I have a certain number of schools, from high school, middle school, and elementary schools, that I work with the facilitators at those schools and make sure they have everything they need to, because they're actually the ones that match the mentor to the student that's to become a mentee. And then once they're matched, my job is to support the facilitator, supporting the mentor and the mentee both. And then we also do a lot of things through our office that help to support matches. So one example, we do community service projects on a monthly basis. We partner with someone in the community, another organization. And we always talk to them ahead of time and let them know we'd like to do something, and we figure out what would be most beneficial for their clients. So earlier this year, we did a service project for the Friendship Home. And so we made some, it's like a picture holder. It's made out of wooden, not thimble, wooden spool
Okay.
and a dowel and a clothespin. So the matches got to decorate that. So we put all the supplies together. We whoever wants to do it can sign up for it. We'll send it to the school and then they do it. So that's one of the things that we do in kind of in the background at our office. We put together different academies during the school year. So this year for middle schools, we went to the school and did what we called a connection academy. So mentors and mentees that are already meeting there at the school, they might have to change the day that they meet so we can get them all together. And we talked about strengths. So they got to do the Gallup's strengths, and they got to work together as a mentee and mentor pair to figure out what they're good at. And we had some fun activities for them. Then at the high school level, we are starting this semester to do those connection academies, and we are supporting matches in learning about purpose and just identifying their purpose, talking about college and the future. So that's a lot of fun too. So those are some examples of ways that a match support specialist gets involved.
Yeah, and I believe last week I heard too, like those do-it-yourself little projects that you guys are sending in the mail. It sounds like they're taking off in popularity a little bit.
They are, yes. We need more and more kits every year to make. So we're over 100 kits that we're making right now.
Okay, and then you guys just make that idea yourself. You just it's all your guys' ideas on putting those together.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, sometimes the community partners will come up with the idea. We'll approach them and say, "This is something we're thinking about," and then they oftentimes will have a different idea that's more beneficial, and so we'll run with whatever they would like.
Dan, you ever do any of those projects? Do you remember?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they were going on when I was involved or not. They were. Okay.
We've been doing them for 5 years now. This is our 5th school
I
year.
suppose you probably have mentors and mentees though that all kind of like doing different things.
They do. Yeah. A lot of them play games. I'd be curious to hear what Dan and Christopher like to do together.
Oh,
what did you guys do?
Well, it started off, of course, and I wanted to say that, whoever matched us did an amazing job.
Good.
And I don't know if you were involved at that time or not, but I'm a retired architect now, and practiced here in Lincoln with a firm for 44 years. And Christopher ended up wanting or being interested in engineering. So two related kind of allied industries, professions, and so through the course of our term in teammates, I was able to really mentor him as far as what it takes to get through school and on beyond school to the university and become an engineer someday. And that's the pursuit he's on right now. He's at the university his first year in civil engineering, and so that was an excellent match. And it brought me back to the days when I was in his shoes, and just kind of considering that daunting thing of, let alone getting to school, but then deciding what your career might be and then pursuing that at the university level and ultimately getting the job and practicing. So I was able to kind of help give him a lot of confidence on the way, pointers, what to look for, calm his nerves, tell him he's going to do just fine. And so that was a really nice part of the match. But, getting started with him, first meeting him at Park Middle School in the media center there.
And he was 7th grade, right?
He was in 7th grade.
Okay.
Yep. And to think of the difference between him as a 7th grader and him as a graduating senior is pretty remarkable to watch a person grow up.
Now he's
those
at
years.
UNL as well. And is that where you went to school as well?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And I can definitely see how you guys would get along on that. Engineer and architect. Those are two daunting majors for some people. So I'm sure that's a lot of confidence to have you like, oh, he's been there. He's done it. And again, I'd imagine that's kind of a lot of what you guys try to do. You want that mentee to maybe see a little bit of themselves in that mentor. Is that kind of what you're hoping for? Because I know you're not getting mentors to be, hey, you need to help this kid in school. Hey, you need to help this kid in basketball. You just want them to listen. So when you're kind of putting those together, what are you really looking at to create these great matches?
We're looking at what they have in common, what they have, their similar interests, personality types. Mentors and mentees both fill out a little interest survey, we call it, and that gives us an idea ahead of time who might be good matches together. And it's just a tool that we use to help us. So we might send, in fact, just today, Lynn is my coworker who assigns mentors to schools, and she noticed that there was a mentor who matched up with pretty significantly between two young mentees at one of the elementary schools. And it looked as if either student would be a good fit for this particular mentor. So it seemed like a no-brainer. Like, we're just going to go ahead and send this mentor to this school, and then we leave it up to facilitators to decide. Because of course we're just looking on paper, and we don't have that. That's exactly why we have these school facilitators that know the students and can meet with the students. Then they also meet with the mentor, and they talk to them individually before they decide who to match with. But I've heard so many stories of good matches. I think our facilitators do a really great job. We do some training with them every year, just even a refresher training, but they just know those students so well. And then they get to know the mentors, and we just have some remarkable mentors. We are so fortunate to have so many awesome people in the city of Lincoln that have volunteered to do this, and we're looking for more.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, I think you guys do a great job on matches, because some of my favorite stories I hear a lot of times, they'll go to their mentees high school graduation, and from at that point on, you guys are saying, you're not saying the relationship's over, but you're no longer doing the paperwork for them. You're not setting up those meetings. But then 4 years later, that same person got to watch them graduate college, and that relationship just never ended. So it's really cool that those matches last. But I do want to ask if we have any mentors they're thinking, I don't have enough time in the day. Maybe my kid has Wednesdays open at the school and I can't be there on Wednesdays. How flexible are those schools, with those mentors, so they can get in and actually get that hour in? And how flexible are you guys? Like, what are you asking time-wise from someone who wants to be a mentor?
Great question. We look at usually just one class period, which is roughly 50 minutes. And if a mentor didn't even have that much time, 30 minutes to 45 is great too. 30 minutes I would say would be the minimum time frame that we would want a match to meet. It's really not about the length of time. It's about the consistency, meeting weekly. That's what's more important, honestly, and what the research really shows is beneficial. So lunchtime, lunch and recess kind of combination can get us 40 minutes. Before school and after school, some schools actually don't want to take kids out of any of the classes or core classes. Sometimes the students just don't want to miss class either. So they are like, can we do it over lunch, or can I stay after school? We don't have very many matches that meet before or after school, but those are options. They just have to meet on school property. And the majority of our schools are quite flexible with the time frame. There's always a couple options. On one occasion, I had a mentor that also was a student. She was a student at UNL. And so she had kind of some restrictions on time herself due to her class schedule. And we had to reassign her to a different school, because the first place we sent her, just when the student was available, her mentee, her potential mentee, we didn't actually match them. Didn't match up with her availability. So that's the only time in the whole 6 years I've been with Teammates that happened. So.
Okay, that's good to know. And then, Dan, I'll kind of bring it back to you. And again, for the text line, if you guys want to join the conversation, Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. And if you want to put a face to the voice, we're also streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch as well. But Dan, I want to ask you, when you first became a mentor, she's talking about the time and the consistency that's required. Did you have any sort of trepidation in those early meetings? Like, am I making an impact on this kid? Is this consistency working, or was it pretty cut and even right at the beginning that you felt like you're making an impact?
Well, it took a little while to kind of realize that, hey, this this kid really does want to meet with me every week, you
Mhm.
know, and there were times when I kind of go, well, why, you know, but kind of got through that and realized that, hey, this is this is a relationship that's building and it's working, and we would take a look at our schedules at the beginning of every semester, and what Christopher would do is he'd pick a period in the week that wasn't elective. They wanted to avoid kind of the core subjects and the harder subjects.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Make-
You'd hate to make
yeah.
up for something like calculus.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And so he'd pick something that, he could stand to miss a period a week in. And my schedule was flexible, and he was going to Park Middle School at the time.
Mhm.
And then he went on to Lincoln High School. My office was downtown. So running out of the office and getting to those two schools in time for an appointment wasn't a problem. And it just worked out. I think every year we got certificates for, meeting the threshold on 20 meetings or 24 meetings.
24,
Yeah,
yes.
24 meetings.
24 is the
Yeah,
magic meeting,
yeah.
and that's just
Yeah.
the high school year, right? You're just going by what's it, 32 out of
There's 36 weeks in a school
36?
year.
Okay, that's what it
and
is.
we encourage mentors to strive to meet 24 times out of that school year. And the reason is that the research shows that when a student has that consistency from a mentor, we see an improvement in grades, attendance, and behavior. And so it's what we strive for. It's that gives leeway for people. We're not expecting perfection. No need to come every week for 36 weeks. That's just nearly impossible. So that's answers.
Yeah, and
that.
I mean, there was never a time in those 6 years when, I thought, well, there's going to come a time when Christopher will just blow it off or forget about it or something else will come up. And that never happened. I mean, we always knew ahead of time if we had a conflict and worked through the coordinator at the schools to make sure that, we didn't show up in the media center during that time.
That's
and
awesome.
The coordinator was really good about getting the word out, letting either one of us know if there was a conflict and we needed to just skip a week.
Okay, and then I kind of want to ask you this, because Stacy said the kids have a way better, just overall, they seem to do better in school. Even if that mentee's not teaching them anything, it's just consistency and being there and listening. But I hear the same for work as well for the mentors. They might go back to their job after that meeting and they almost feel more productive. And some of the businesses kind of like it when they have people that are involved with teammates, because they come back almost even better workers. Did you ever feel kind of that extra boost of energy after those meetings?
Yeah, absolutely. It's invigorating. And, here you are interacting with a young person, and they've got energy, and you're able to interact with them and help them make a difference in their lives, give them advice. And you walk away from that just feeling really good about that and energized. So you get back to the office, and absolutely that was a difference maker.
That's awesome to
Yeah.
hear. And then, Stacey, what about you? Because I know you currently have a mentee right now as well. Do you
Yeah.
kind of feel that same productiveness after those meetings?
When I first changed jobs and went to Lincoln Public Schools, I heard about, oh, you should be in teammates. You should be in teammates. Well, I felt like, well, I gotta get a feel for my job. I better
Mhm.
wait a little bit. So I waited. A year went by, and then teammates came up again. And I had coworkers that had mentees, and I'm watching them leave during the day and go mentor and come back, and they just looked super happy, like they had a great time. So finally, I signed up and I became a teammates mentor before I started working for teammates. And I thought to myself, why didn't I do this sooner? I regretted it so much. It was the best week, the best hour of my week. I looked forward to it every week. It was the highlight. I couldn't believe I didn't do it earlier, sooner since I was there and had the opportunity. So yeah, and it's still true 6 years later.
That's
I
awesome.
still love mentoring, and it's just fun. It gets me out of the office too. I think us adults, when we are just grinding at work all day long, day in and day out, that one time, I mean, we should do it more than once a week, honestly, take breaks, but that one break a week when you're interacting with a young person and it just takes your mind off of whatever. We play Uno a lot now.
I hear that's a hot one
Oh
for
my
everyone.
goodness,
That seems to be
yes.
one of the more
It's a hot one.
popular ones.
My former mentee, I loved Mancala. That was her game
Okay.
of choice. So I never got tired of that one. I'm bringing a different Uno game tomorrow to Kamaya to introduce that to her. It's Uno Flip. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's fun.
No, I haven't tried that one. I might stay away from Uno on day one though, just because I know that game you get a bunch of +4s in a row. You might might be a bumpy start. But nonetheless, we got to go to break here. We are going all the way up until 7 o'clock though, so don't worry. We got a couple segments left of the Teammates Mentoring Hour right here on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. We'll be back right after this break.
Don't go anywhere. Teammates Mentoring Hour is minutes away on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Early break with Sip and Jake.
I just feel like people are not talking about enough the incomplete passing. This blows my mind. Why does it blow your mind? Because that's a strategy at the end of the game of either spiking the ball or, hey, find something to stop the clock.
Now you can't do it.
You can't just stop the clock. That's a part of football. It's always been a part of football.
Right.
You can't just win things completely.
Yeah,
Why would you do that?
I don't think you have to stress that one too much.
Break with Sip and Jake from 6-8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at Marriott menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Fix your plate.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for things like getting new tree orders and ready and staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're work of spring cleanups to customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with us ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett. Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Nebraska State Veterans Homes are here to serve veterans, their spouses, surviving spouses, and join your fellow veterans and families at one of our homes in Bellevue, Kearney, Norfolk, or Scottsbluff with a sliding scale to determine your financial contribution. An excellent clinical team and plenty of fun activities. Our home's a perfect retirement choice. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/homes. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, Nebraska Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Can you believe all the empty cars? How can they survive? They are surviving by charging widgets and making you believe there are no cars available. Hey, this is Carl from Price Right Auto. I'm here to tell you that they are full of bull stuff. Come out to Price Right in Westo, and you'll find over 100 great vehicles at some great prices. Won't let you with peace of mind, 3-month warranty. If you want a great experience, check out our website, price selection of affordable used cars on West O Street at Price Right Auto.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa,
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
We've been a little spoiled with a mild winter so far, but the snow is here and it's time to take care of your car. Stop by your local Rocket Car Wash to remove dirt and salt buildup and protect your vehicle from winter weather wear. Visit us at our 2 area Rocket Car Wash locations for a quick, quality clean every time. If your car's interior is feeling the winter weather, check out Express Detail Tunnels at our Williamsburg location, 3833 Village Drive. RocketCars.com.
This is the Team Mentoring Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Teammates Mentoring Hour. Again, if you guys want to join the conversation, Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. We're going all the way up until 7 o'clock, so plenty of time to get your questions in. And even if you're interested, I'm sure if you send a screenshot that you're at the website. What's the website again? It's LincolnTeammates.org.
LincolnTeammates.org.
Okay, LincolnTeammates.org. Tell you what, if you send a screenshot, I'm sure DP wouldn't hesitate to send you a T-shirt your way either. So again, check out LincolnTeammates.org, and you can send in questions at 402-464-5685. So over the break, we're kind of talking about our mentors and mentees. And just out of curiosity, currently, what's kind of your favorite hobbies to do with your mentee right now, Stacy?
With my mentee, we play Uno a lot, and we played other games. When I first was matched with her, she loved Legos. We built something with Legos for the first 6 weeks that we got together. So she loves that, and she's a very strategic thinker, I noticed.
Okay.
So she likes to think about. We've played Connect 4 was another favorite one that we played a lot of. We learned Mancala. She didn't know about how to play that, so I taught her how to play Mancala.
Okay.
So we play a variety of games. So far, it's been games mostly.
Would you guys say you're kind of similar in the way you like strategic thinkers? Do you think this is why you maybe connect well?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Awesome. And
Yes.
again, credit to the match support specialist.
Exactly.
And then what about you, Dan? What are kind of some favorite things to do with Christopher when you were his mentor?
Well, in the earlier years, it was games, and Uno, obviously, and there was board games. They had a closet in the media center full of games, and I think it's sorry. We played Jenga in the media center, which got loud when all the blocks came tumbling down on the table.
Any Battleship? I know that's a popular one as well.
Yes, we did play Battleship. So we kind of moved through phases, and it was like all of this game, and then let's try something else, and that I played most of the time. To begin with, we always kind of caught up on what was your last week like, what we got coming up this coming week, either with family trips, school, and always ask him how school's going. And one of the things that amazed me is that he was able to pull out his laptop and pull up all of his grades and say, well, this is how I'm doing. This is
that was it's like, I'll show you in a week or two.
Yeah,
We'll see what it looks like.
Yeah, well, good looking grade.
That's
And
awesome.
but if he was struggling in a class, and I remember in middle school, he said, Dan, could you help me with my math homework? And I'm like, oh yeah, math? Are you kidding? I all through from 7th grade to university, I was in advanced math. So I'm like, I've got this.
Were you hoping for a question like that one of those days? Not like you're going to ask him, like, hey, but you're right.
You need any math help? No. But he pulled out his math homework, and he tried to explain it to me, and I had no clue what was going on as far as the method of solving the problem. I mean, I could show him how I'd solve the problem, but the way he had to solve the problem and show the work, I was clueless. And I'm saying, Christopher, I'm so sorry. I can't get this, and I don't know how to help. But he made it through on his own. But I assured him that he's going to do okay, and he did. He was a kid that would really apply himself and work until he got it.
That's awesome.
So my job on that end was easy. I just kind of had to like have him check in and how you doing and let him go and reassure him that he'll work it through and he'll be okay.
So then here's for both of you guys, and I hear it a lot from people that are mentors that they do this thing because they really want to help the kid out. And they're like, this is a good way to give back to the community. By the end of it, they kind of like, wow, I learned a lot of things about myself through this as well. And not only did I learn things about myself, I'm better for it. So through that process of being a mentor, was there anything surprising to you that you might have learned about yourself that's helped you down the road?
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Dan.
yeah, I'll go. Well, definitely there's that aspect that in some ways, I'd leave, our meeting, our session, convinced that I got more out of that than Christopher did. And certainly by the end of the term, I was like, wow, that was really rewarding. Here I walked with Christopher through 6 years of school, saw him through graduation, helped write letters of recommendation for scholarships, advise him on navigating, getting into university and then, the offers on the table for when it comes time to go job hunting. Man, come and see me because I know a lot of civil engineers. And, so yeah, for me, it was just so rewarding. I'm so glad I did it. I would have had no idea going into it that coming out at the other end, it was going to be such a great feeling.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I never hear anyone come in here and be like, oh yeah, I just happy for it to be done. No, everyone comes by, and I always hear positive stories. So again, if you guys are interested, even if you're not willing to commit to being a mentor, but just curious to see what the process is, at LincolnTeammates.org, you can read up about information there. And again, even if you don't have time to be a mentor, there's other ways you can help out as well. So Stacy, I'll have that same question at you. Was there anything through the process that, kind of surprised you that you took with you later down the road?
Yes. When I was meeting with my first mentee, she was a 6th grader. And then I think it was in her 7th grade year, beginning first semester. So I probably had a good 10, 12 meetings with her from the time I met her to the middle of 7th grade. Well, probably more than that actually. But anyway, regardless, I just remember thinking to myself after meeting with her one day, and then I have my own kids, and I have 3 kids. 2 of them are older than my mentee, and then one of them was a year younger than my mentee. So kids around the same age, teenagers. And I just felt like I was sharpening my parenting skills. Just simply by being there and listening and just having a conversation with my mentee, not doing anything special, but I just listened to her. So I became a better listener to my own kids. And it was just sort of a natural thing that occurred, and I noticed it. And I was like, oh, I felt like I could have a little more patience with them because I was very patient with my mentee. I didn't have any expectations for her. I just wanted to meet her and friends and hang out and have fun. So then I kind of took that approach with my own kids a little bit more seriously to do that. And again, I noticed that it was just sort of happening naturally. I also like I said, it was the best part of my week. I'd just be in a great mood and go back to work, and I'd be in a great mood and spread that to my coworkers and, get them in a positive mood too. So it was, again, I'm with Dan. The whole thing, it was an excellent experience, and I'm doing it again because I just can't get enough.
Yeah, I think that's a pattern a lot. A lot of people, the kid's done, and then it's like, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to have another one because it does make an impact. And you notice your ears perking up a lot better after that, just becoming a great listener.
Oh, definitely. And I was going to piggyback on what Stacy said. You mentioned your kids.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was my grandkids who are just a few years younger than Christopher is. And so it was interesting to be able to relate that. And then also when I'm conversing with my grandkids to take what I've learned from Christopher. I mean, he was in marching band. My grandson's in marching band. All those kind of connections, and ask my grandkids questions. So, have you done this, or are you doing this? And
cool.
Went the other way with Christopher to be able to make those connections in their experience in school.
That's incredible. Again, shout out to. I will say they seem to do a really great job of matching people up. Because Stacy, maybe you can answer to this, but from all these shows that you guys are having here, it feels like that conversation a lot of times doesn't stop after, you guys, you're not saying conversation's over, but do those relationships continue frequently between those mentors and mentees post high school?
Yes. I would say more often than not.
Okay.
They do continue.
That's awesome. And
Yes, for
it's
sure.
that impact, that you said. And I know as a kid, I can imagine with my parents, no, you don't really start saying thank you and having a ton of gratitude till you're on your own. And then you're like, oh man, thank you guys so much. And then it's like you almost feel guilty if you don't see them for a week. So what was that like for you guys? Obviously you're not expecting that kid to tell you day 1, day 2, day 3, oh, thank you so much. You're here. You're making such a massive impact on my life. So what was it for you guys to keep showing up, keep being consistent, and just trusting the process?
Well, I remember Christopher had nominated me for some award.
The Mentor Hall of Fame Award.
There you go.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
yeah,
making
yeah.
an impact.
and to read what he wrote in his recommendation for that, it just blew my mind. That's what the difference was that I was making in his life, and for him to recognize that and to put it in writing and nominate me was it was very rewarding. Just lost what I was going to say.
Real quick, I'll
we'll
ask
move
you, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was, I believe that was Dan's favorite part of the week. You mentioned that. Was that part of that letter?
Could have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Could have
awesome
been.
to hear. And then same kind of question to you. When did you're not expecting the kid to say, oh, thank you, you're making such an impact on my life, but how do you just go about trusting that the process is working?
Well, for me personally, I did have an experience with my mentee where I asked her at the beginning of the school year, so what are you looking forward to? We'd actually met over the summer, and it was the last day of summer meeting. Then we'll have a couple weeks that we weren't meeting. And then I asked her, like, what are you looking forward to? And she said, I'm looking forward to meeting with you every week.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so, yeah, that was like my first confirmation from her verbally that she was really looking forward to having me. And I do want to say, is in my job as a match support specialist, we have match closures that happen for various reasons before graduation. And oftentimes a mentor will report to me when I'm talking to them about their closure that they're not sure if they made an impact. They just really couldn't tell. And then when I'm talking with the student to get their information, or if the facilitator had already talked to the student, 9 times out of 10, there was an impact, that there was a positive impact made, and those students, those mentees share it. So then I love being able to share that with the mentee and say, well, I know you didn't feel like you did, but this is what your mentee's saying. She's saying that she really appreciated you listening to her every week. And that was literally one that I just saw recently. So it is about trusting the process, and we train to that in our new mentor training. It's hard. Kids can't, they're not going to sit across the table and look at you and go, gosh, I'm so grateful that you're here today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like what you said too, just having someone, even if the kid has great parents, as a kid, you're not always going to want to talk to your parents about everything all the time, even if it's something minor and monotonous. Sometimes it's just nice to have a third party sit in and listen, even if you love your parents to death. It's just, everyone's been a kid growing up. You know what it's like. You don't, for some reason, tell your parents everything at certain ages. And again, I can imagine, middle school, I know how I was. It would have been great to have someone just listen to me, because at that point in time, a lot of people are self-conscious, or maybe you're not self-conscious, but nonetheless, it's just great to listen. But I do want to kind of ask about that training that you guys do have, because like I said before, you're not having mentors to fix their grades, fix their, help them in athletics, what it may be. So what does that training look like, and how long does it take? And then Dan, maybe you can kind of give your experience about it as well after.
Our training is about 3 hours, and it goes really fast. People comment about, wow, it doesn't even feel like 3 hours went by. And it's because it's so engaging. There's a lot of information. We talk about what it means to be a mentor, what a mentor's role looks like, and what mentors don't do, what they're not responsible for. And we talk a little bit about like stages of mentoring, like the beginning stage, what that looks like, all the way through the ending stage. We talk about strengths. We talk about a growth mindset. So we kind of are giving these tools to mentors to be thinking about. And it's not anything that's a requirement. You don't have to go and say certain things. We give them a mentor handbook, and it has everything that we've covered in training in there, plus a lot more. There's activity ideas, just things to get a conversation started, some questions, getting to know you questions, things like that. So training is really easy, laid back. It's very involved. You're not going to just sit there and listen. You're going to be interacting. We're brainstorming. We're getting in small groups and having discussions. And so it goes by fast. It's very informative, and mentors get really excited by the end of that
That's
3-hour
awesome.
time period.
And I'd imagine too, you're preparing for situations that some, you might not even ever run into, but it's good to have the knowledge how to take care of it. And then real quick from the text line, John and Cortland says, "Sir, it appears you deserve the recognition that young man recognized for you. Well done." So again, that's awesome. And it is true. I mean, I know that the mentors, it's awesome to see, you're not looking for reward, but it is rewarding to see that kid prosper and grow, but it's rewarding for the entire community. Because we want the youth to continue to succeed. So it doesn't care, who the mentor is. If that kid's doing great, the entire city of Lincoln's better for it. So again, if you guys are interested, lincolnteammates.org. It really is a great cause. So if you guys want to check that out, please go there. You can even take a screenshot, and I'm sure DP will send a t-shirt your way as well. But we got to go to our last break here. We'll have one more segment left of the Teammates Mentoring Hour right here on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. We'll be back right after this break.
Don't go anywhere. More of the Teammates Mentoring Hour is minutes away on 93.7 The Ticket and the ticketfm.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.73 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour, with opportunities to make certifications. Continental salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com, keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited stock left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today, 402-432-2572, to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Live opening in Bennett.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. The topping.
Are you sure? Good idea.
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for John Man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
John Henry's Plumbing.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that, options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business. Visit our website, lincoln.com, to find out more, or call us at
435-55. John Henry's Plumbing.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Mostly cloudy skies for the majority of the day. We may see some clearing late. We'll see a high of around 50. Winds out of the southeast at around 10 to 15. Clearing skies tonight with a low down to around 30. We'll see an increase in cloud cover late in the day tomorrow with a high once again near 50. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment. For baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hills, the best of the best. You can play those courses more without ever leaving the city of Lincoln at Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetics Plaza.
Mary Ellen's coleslaw, cornbread, grits, but my grandma never made food like that. If you're ready, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all the time. Visit them online at Mary to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
This is the Teammates Mentoring Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the last segment of the Teammates Mentoring Hour, but not the last segment of Ticket Weeknights. We don't have Kyle Perry tonight. You can imagine baseball is underway, so we will miss him. But nonetheless, we'll still have Outside the Box with head coach Rocky Russo and Joel Norman. That will go from 9 to 10 o'clock. So we still got plenty of Ticket Weeknights ahead, but we will be wrapping up Teammates Mentoring Hour right here, going all the way up until 7 o'clock. So to kind of wrap things up here, I got a couple questions. First one's going to be, do you have any favorite memories between your mentee, just any sort of situation, whether it was early meeting, later down the road, graduation day? Is there any favorite memories you guys have?
I'd say for me, it has to be graduation.
Mhm.
I attended his reception after the graduation.
Oh, that's awesome.
And got to meet his family for the first time, because of the protocols.
Mhm.
And so that was, to see him take the stage front and center with his family and friends, and be able to kind of show his wares and his accomplishments, and his scholarship applications had come through, and he had a nice tidy sum of scholarships that would allow him to get to the university. And just to see all that, very rewarding, and just kind of see him transform from kind of a shy, quiet 7th grader to a senior that was in charge. That was great.
That's
Great
awesome.
feeling.
And then you said, is he engineering degrees?
Engineering, yeah.
Okay.
Civil engineering.
So hopefully you'll see another graduation someday.
Yes,
Hopefully that'd be the real treat right
yeah,
there.
and we've gotten together for lunch and dinner, and probably due for another one here coming up that kind of revolves around his school schedule. It's good.
That's
Got a
awesome.
lifetime friend.
Yeah, you really do. And that's the thing. Again, it's like, if you're really considering teammates, it's not like you're giving everything up. Like, you're gonna find something that you're not maybe anticipating it, but you see a lot of relationships that go way beyond the quote unquote term of graduation day in high school. So it really is a cool thing. So Stacy, I'll kind of have that same question for you. Do you got any favorite memories with a mentee?
Yes. My first mentee and I were together for a little over 6 years. And so I do have a lot of memories that I love. It's so hard. Like, there's just these milestones that, the first time when she lied to me about why she missed school. And then she was talking to me about a situation that happened with some friends. And she stopped herself and she looked at me and she said, I wasn't sick. I was suspended. And so, but then she kept on talking. I was like, oh, thank you for sharing that with me. And then I just was quiet, and she just picked up and kept talking, and I just listened. And I don't even know to this day why she was suspended. I don't know what happened. She just was trusting me enough to share that. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. Like, this is good. And then, I couldn't believe she loved those community service projects so much. I didn't bring one month, and she's like, oh, where's the community service project? I'm
Oh,
like,
it was a big deal for her.
yes, it was. I didn't know. And we loved doing those together, like, especially after I knew how much she loved them. And then then a time when we were Zooming because she wasn't going to school due to COVID. Her family didn't want her to be in person. So we met for an entire year over Zoom. So then the first time we got together after that was so awesome because then we could give each other a hug and just see each other in person. And it was so much better than seeing her on a computer screen. So anyway, those are some of the memories that just kind of happened over time. And of course, leading up to her graduation too, and just being so proud of her. She struggled in school and I don't know if she would have made it without being there, encouraging her and just telling her she can do this. And she did.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's another thing you hear, it's, you'll have people be like, well, they got people in place that care about her. They don't really need my help. And, the DP says it all the time here. It's, you can never have too many mentors. It's only going to do positive things for you. Another person that's not necessarily holding you accountable, but definitely cares for your future. It kind of puts a sense of pressure on yourself. Like, I can do this. There's people that care and believe in me that I can do this. So it's really important. And another one from the text line, John says, as always, appreciate everyone and everything the team is doing. Keep on keeping on. Special shout out to Miss Becky and DP, the owners of 93.7 The Ticket. In that order, DP will understand. Peace and love. Thank you, John, for tuning in. Appreciate it as always. We got a few more minutes here. So to kind of close things out, one thing I want to ask, if we have any possible future mentors that are listening right now and they're on the line, they're not sure if they want to commit, what's your elevator pitch to, kind of show them like, hey, this is a great thing to get involved in. And we can start either or Stacy or Dan, whatever one's got a pitch they want to sell first.
Well, I would say you should definitely look into it. You can actually go to the training and you can look for what trainings are available on our website. It's pretty easy to find, but you can navigate that. You can go to training before you even apply. So if you're on the fence, you're not really sure, maybe it's a matter of, do I have what it takes? If you just don't have the confidence that you think you would be a good mentor, please come to training or just come and call us at the office and we'll be happy to talk to you and give you some more information before you have to go to a 3-hour training. That's all right too. And what else was I going to say? So training, I don't know. Dan, what do you have to add?
Well, I would just say, take the step. Don't hesitate. Do it. I'm not a joiner. And I went through my entire career as an architect and I didn't get involved in committees and service clubs and things like that. I became an architect so I could sit at my drafting table and draw. Just don't leave me alone. But this was something that just clicked. Me as kind of a closet introvert, and you're one-to-one. You just be yourself, and you soon realize that you are really making a difference and have something to share that is going to help this kid. And so don't hesitate. I mean, no better time than now to take that step.
There's a lot of support. There's so much support at the school, the teammates office. As a match support specialist, I reach out to mentors a lot. Just check in, just see how things are going, offer suggestions if they're struggling, or just, kind of trying to find some new, fresh ideas. And the time commitment is the biggest. I mean, if you have so many things packed in your week that it's really hard to find the time, I get it. So keep teammates in mind, talk to other people who might have more time, encourage them to apply. We need mentors. We need male mentors. We need mentors of color. We need mentors from all different backgrounds. They're so valuable to our team to help us grow. And we have so many students with different backgrounds that need mentors that are like them.
Yeah, and as Dan said over the break too, if you're getting nervous, he did say they're one call away. If anything comes up, they're one call away. And as he said, you just had to be yourself. Yeah, that's all you have to do to be a mentor. You just be yourself. And as Stacy said before, there's tons of mentees out there that really just want someone. And believe me, there's a match out there for you. So Lincoln Teammates. If you guys want to get involved, that's the site, LincolnTeammates.org. Appreciate you guys for listening, and definitely have a great rest of your Monday night. But we still got ticket weeknights ahead. We still got no Kyle Perry, but we will have Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo as well. But appreciate you guys listening, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night, not Monday.